Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of our PINASimpleng Investments para sa ating OFWs or PISO webinar series. I am your host, Kara from the FirstMetroSec team. So before we get things up and running for tonight's episode, let me just take this chance to sincerely thank all of you for being part of our session tonight and hope that you will continue to support us as we strive to deliver to our overseas Filipino audience financial and investment learnings as regular as we can, especially during these trying times. Without further ado, let's now move on to our discussion proper. Last time we discussed about mutual funds and UITFs. This time, for our third webisode, we will delve on stocks, how to earn regular income from stocks, particularly on dividend stocks. Everyone, please welcome our head for product development here at FirstMetroSec, our speaker for tonight, Ms. Vanessa Galvez.
Hi again, I'm Vanessa Galvez from the OFW Desk of First Metro Securities. So welcome to the third webisode of our series, PINASimpleng Investments para sa ating OFWs or what we call PISO. For this webisode, we will be talking about dividend stocks. How do we earn regular income from stocks? So before that, let's have a review first of what we have already talked about during the last episode. So, pinag-usapan natin on how do we pick the right investment. So, if you remember, we gave you this acronym, SURE, which stands for S, size, H, horizon, O, objective, R is risk tolerance, and E, experience. So, investing is a personal thing. It's not a one-size-fits-all decision. So, what could work for me may not work for you. Kaya importante po na number one, alamin natin ano ba yung investable funds natin. Yun yung size. So, sa ating mga monthly income, magkano ba dito ang kailangan natin for emergencies? That's what we put in money market. Magkano yung pwede nating iwan invested for the next 3 or 5 years or long term? Horizon, so if this is money na hindi mo kailangan for the next 5 years, let's say it's for your retirement and you're still 40 years old now, so you have a longer horizon. So this is, it means that you can take on riskier assets like stocks or equity funds. Objective, again, is this for your emergency fund? Kung pang emergency fund yan, huwag niyong ilalagay sa stocks. Diba? But if it's for something na you'll need pa after 5 or 10 years, let's say a college fund for your child na 10 years old pa lang ngayon, then you can again put that money into stocks or riskier assets. Risk tolerance, this is very, very important. So wag po tayong masisilaw sa taas ng pwedeng kitain. Mas importante yung mahimbing yung tulog natin. So kung merong kumita sa stocks, it doesn't mean na kailangan mo ring pasukin. You have to analyze what kind of risk level you are willing to take. The lower the risk, the lower the return, the higher the risk, the higher the potential return. Okay? And experience, that's the last consideration, E. So kung all throughout your life, puro savings and time deposit ka lang, huwag mong biglain ang sarili mo and get into stocks right away. Kumbaga, test the waters first. Consider what you know, diba? And kung ano yung comfortable ka. So start from the low risk assets going to high risk. So again, tandaan natin, sure. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. We have to analyze ourselves at ano yung fit na investment para sa atin. Now, ito, yung sinasabi natin, higher the risk, higher the return, the lower the risk, the lower the return. So we already talked about money market, the funds, and now we want to talk about stocks. And like what you will see in this risk spectrum, the higher risk, high return assets like stocks are meant for long term. So these are investments na you wouldn't need anytime soon. Bakit? Pag-uusapan din natin as we go along. Again, we reiterate, if this is money that you wouldn't need anytime soon, you can invest them in stocks. Ano ba yung stocks? It's being part owner of a big company. So, kumbaga, kapital mo, pero iba ang nagtrabaho. Namuhunan ka. ikaw ngayon ang isang Henry C. Kapital mo yung pinag-start ng business, run ng business, pero hindi ka nagtatrabaho yourself. Kumukuha ka lang ng kita ng kumpanya na yon. And that's possible by being a shareholder of that company's stocks. How do we earn ba sa stocks? There are generally two ways. Number one is via price appreciation. In Tagalog, pagtaas lang to ng presyo. Isipin nyo na lang, para kang bumili ng lupa. Yung lupa na binili mo ngayon, say 1,000 per square meter sa Pandi, Bulacan, after 10 years, you can already sell that for 10,000 pesos per square meter. So tumaas ang market value. Bakit? Maybe because nagtayo ang SM doon, may community na. So tumaas ang value ng property na yon. Same thing with stocks. Kapag tumataas ang value ng kumpanya, tumataas yung market value ng hawak mong stocks. And if you sell it, one-time profit siya. Okay? Dito pumapasok yung buying low and selling high. Ang nangyayari nga lang, I just want to point it out, tayo kasing mga Pilipino, medyo bandwagon attitude tayo eh. Kung kailan tumataas ang isang stock, doon tayo nag-i-invest. Pag ngayon, nabagsak yung mga stock, takot tayo. But actually, the ideal thing to do is buying low and selling high. Sabi nga, di ba, we mentioned it before also, when there's blood in the streets, that is the time to buy. At eto po yun. Now that we are in a crisis situation, everything you see in the stock market is 30, 20, even 50% at a discount. So this is a good time to buy, buying low. Another way to earn in stocks is through dividends. Ano ba tong dividends? Dividends is getting regular income from your stock investment. And this is where we will focus for this episode. How do we define dividends ba? Dividends is defined as money paid regularly by a company to its shareholders out of its profits. So two main important items. One, it's paid regularly, and two, it's out of profits. Okay? Normally, they're either in the form of a cash dividend or a stock dividend. Meron din minsan property, assets, but very seldom yon nangyayari. Okay? So we'll talk about more of the cash dividends. Now, what are some do's and don'ts of investing in dividends? If this is something that you want, parang passive income, you just invest now at kunin nyo na lang yung regular income, then I hope you can spare me a few minutes to discuss these do's and don'ts. So, number one is do look for companies that give out consistent dividends. Saan ba natin makikita yung data na to? You can log on sa PSE website, www.edge.pse.com.ph. And when you click dividends and more, makikita nyo lahat ng Philippine companies na nagbibigay ng dividendo. So, available yan to all. It's public information. Kasi nga, ang mga listed companies, required sila to disclose major developments inside their company. So, kailangan full transparency, proper disclosures ang mga listed companies. There is, though, an easier way to do it. And that is by logging in to your FirstMetroSec account and click Research and then Div History. Ano ba yung makikita nyo dito sa tab na to? It will show you the past dividends ng kumpanya. Let's take PLDT for example. So PLDT is the owner of Smart cellphone. Ang kanyang ticker symbol is TEL, T-E-L. By the way, don't worry if you don't know the ticker symbol kasi we have a symbol guide right there sa website, sa platform. Or you can Google it. So let's see PLDT. Sabi natin, diba, consistent return. So ideally, we look at its historical 5-year return. So we start in 2015. You'll see back in 2015, PLDT gave out dividends 3 times. Twice in March, and then another one in August. Pero ang tanong, consistent ba siya? And you will see here that it also gave out dividends in 2016, 2017, 2018, and last year, it gave out 2 dividends, one in April and another one in August. So, tig 36 pesos. Diba? So, makikita natin, consistent siya for the past years. Another way to see kung tong kumpanya na to consistent na nagbibigay ng dividendo is you check out their investor disclosures. So normally, you'll find out dun sa investor relations tab ng mga listed websites. So in this case, dividend info, you will see there, PLDT disclosed again that their board of directors approved the amendment of their dividend policy, reducing it to 60% from 75%. So kaya pala, nung 2015, if you notice, ang lalaki ng dividends niya. So yung 2019, binabaan na siya. From 75%, naging 60%. And that's still huge. So bakit importante to? We know that if it's mandated by the board, ibibigay siya sa mga shareholders ng company. So this is something that you can do. You can research before investing in a company to check if that company give out consistent dividends. Okay? So, but again, remember that dividends come from profits. So, importante na yung kumpanya na pipiliin natin, healthy rin yung kanyang earnings. So, dahil doon manggagaling yung mga dividendo natin. Now, number 2 is do check for the dividend yield. Ano ba tong dividend yield? It means that this is the amount of money that you get back for every peso that you invest in a particular stock. Okay, so more than knowing the amount, kanina nakita natin 36, 61, 24, more than knowing the amount, mas importante na alamin natin ano ba yung dividend yield. Bakit? Because it allows you to compare stocks apples to apples. So, dividend yield is dependent on your investment amount. Kasi, dependent din siya dun sa stock price. Let me give you an example. So, let's see Shell and Globe. In 2019, Shell gave out dividends one time lang, once, 3 pesos per share in April. However, si Globe gave out 4 times, 22.75 pesos per share. If I were to ask you, sa tingin mo, saan mas mataas ang dividend yield? Sinong kumpanya ang nagbigay sa'yo ng mas mataas na dividends? Just looking at this, maybe you'll say, syempre si Globe, 4 times, tapos 91 pesos in total in a year. But if you consider that you invested 50,000 pesos and consider the dividend yield, you'll soon find out that your 50,000 pesos earned 9.15% in Shell, but only earned 4.5% in Globe. Bakit? Kasi nga, since the share price of Shell is lower, mas marami kang shares na nakuha. Kaya yung 3 pesos mo, diba, times the number of shares, mas malaki palang dividendo ng nakuha mo. Kaya it is important to compute or to look at the dividend yield. Now, if you're like me, that I hate computing, there is again an easy way to check for the dividend yield. Again, go to your FirstMetroSec platform, click research, and check valuation. Now, dyan sa valuation, if you scroll down, let's look at Globe. If you scroll down, you'll see dividend yield. Naka-compute na po yan for you. Okay? So, mga non-math people dyan. So, you'll see, again, sabi natin, consistent. Consistent pa siya since 2015? Seems yes. 4.48 in 2015, 5.83, and up to last year, it's 4.5. Now, makikita nyo dito na consistently for the past 5 years, pinakita ka in terms of dividends ng more than 4% per year. So kung ikaw yung tipong investor na happy ka na sa gantong level, then maybe Globe is a good stock to consider if you're after the regular income. Okay, may 2 points na tayo, guys. So point number 3, do mind the dates. What do we mean by this? So if you go back to the platform again, now let's look at Meralco. So we know Meralco is an electric company. Actually, monopoly niya ang Luzon or Metro Manila. So lahat ng bahay sa Metro Manila nakakabit at nagbabayad sa Meralco. So Mer. So that's the stock ticker, that's the symbol of Meralco. Tingnan natin ngayon si Meralco. In 2020, it gave out 2 dividends. One regular and one special, both at around 5 pesos each. Pag sinabi nating regular dividends, ito yung mandated by the board, yung parang pinakita natin with PLDT kanina. So regular tong binibigay. However, if the company got exceptional earnings, like for instance, Meralco, may ka-competition ba si Meralco? Wala. So, obviously, yung kita niya, sobrang laki. Wala siyang ka-competition sa market. So, it was able to give out another set of dividends, special dividends, amounting to 5.287. That's per share. Okay? So, every time na good ang earnings ng kumpanya, pwede itong magbigay ng special dividends. Kaya, kung mapapansin nyo rin, every time na may earnings release, inaabangan talaga yun ng mga research analysts or mga investors kasi every time na mataas ang earnings ng company, ibig sabihin, potentially that stock price could go up or it can affect the dividends na ibibigay niya. Kaya importante sa mga stock investors na healthy ang profits ng isang kumpanya. Now, going back to the dates, makikita nyo dito X date. Okay? Ano ba tong X? Hindi lahat ng X bad. Ang X date na to, ibig sabihin, if you bought the stock before the X date, you will get the dividends. So, kung hawak mo yung stock, in this example, before March 17, 2020, entitled ka sa dividends na yon. However, if you bought it on March 18, hindi ka nakasama sa makakatanggap ng dividendo. But hindi mo agad-agad yon makukuha. That's where the date payable comes into play. Date payable is the actual date where you get the dividends at automatic tong makikredit sa inyong FirstMetroSec account. Hindi nyo na kailangang i-follow up. Kapag hindi dumating, then that's when you follow up. Pero automatic na tong papasok sa inyong broker account. Okay, so, okay, now, fourth point, do reinvest the dividends for compounding. Dahil nga nasa account nyo na, nasa buying power nyo na yung dividends, you have 2 options. Number 1, withdraw it, or number 2, reinvest it. I would always go for the second option, reinvesting. Okay? Why? Kapag withdraw nyo yan, sayang. Anong gagawin mo dyan? Pambibili mo lang ng something or pangkakain mo sa labas. But if you use it, you buy it again, you use it to buy again a stock, pwede siyang lumago ulit. That is compounding. Last episode, we mentioned what compounding is. Sabi natin, kapag nagtanim ka ng puno, i-harvest mo na ba at this height? Maybe not yet. Kapag lumaki siya ng ganito, ready na ba siya for harvest? You can, if you want to realize the gains. But if you want higher income, higher profits, you might want to wait for the tree to go up to this level. What is compounding ba? Compounding is basically interest earning interest. Sabihin nyo sa akin, maliit lang yung investment ko eh. So yung dividendo ko, mga 1,000 pesos lang. That's perfectly fine. Kasi marami pong stocks dyan na pwede kang mag-invest kahit 1,000 pesos. A good example would be the ETF, the Exchange Traded Fund. So I think mga around 900 plus makakabili ka na ng FM ETF. So, but don't mind the broker's fees, yung 20 pesos. I always hear again, dapat 8,000 ang i-invest mo para hindi ka lugi. I do think na maliit lang yung 20 pesos. Instead of you waiting for your money na umabot ng 8,000, I, for one, would reinvest that 1,000 and pay the 20 pesos. What's 20 pesos lang naman? You can easily recoup that kapag kumita yung investment mo. Compounding is something na hindi taken for granted. Actually, sabi nga ni Albert Einstein, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. So where will you be? Will you be on the earning side, or will you be the one paying on the paying side, diba? So if you have dividends, I really, really, really encourage you to use it again to buy more stocks. Habang lumalaki yung investment, over time, kumikita po yung mga, kumbaga ang kita mo, kumikita pa. So that is basically compounding. Okay? So let's move on to the next point. Masyado po bang mabilis? Sige, hinga muna tayo. Okay. Next point. Number 5 is, do remember that your income is not dependent on the stock price. I love this point. Let's look at Manila Water. Last year, if you have been following the news, nasa news parate si Manila Water. It was fined by MWSS, SC, Supreme Court, at nagkaroon pa ng problema with the water shortage. So, punong-puno siya ng problema. I can just imagine Fernando Sobel de Ayala and Jaime Augusto scratching their heads. What will I do with Manila Water? Because of those bad news, ang stock price po ng MWC went down from 28 to 10 pesos per share. So if you were holding this stock back then, lugi ka on paper loss by 63%. Kung ikaw po yun, what would you do? Will you sell? Cut loss, I'll just sell. Bababa pa yan. Or you'll just hold on to your stock. Kahit yung market value niya, 63% less. Kumbaga, in amounts, kung nag-invest ka ng 100,000 pesos in 2018, by end 2019, ang pera mo na lang 63,000 pesos. How would you feel? Diba? But if you're one of those investors na stayed invested, hinawakan mo siya in spite of the bad news. Alam niyo po ba na kumita ka dapat ng dividend yield ng 8.78%, almost 9%. So this is regardless of the stock price. As long as you are holding your number of shares, babayaran at babayaran ka ng company. So that's one of the amazing things of dividend investing. Okay? Now, last point. Number 6, do invest in preferred stocks. Ano ba tong preferred stocks? Preferred stocks are not dependent on companies' earnings, unlike the common stocks that we discussed a while ago. Etong mga preferred stocks, para siyang stock and bond combined. Bakit? Kasi meron siyang either maturity date or perpetual preferred shares, at meron siyang fixed rate and schedule per year. Usually, sasabihin ng company, I'm gonna give you 5% per annum semi-annual. So you can expect a 5% income every 6 months, okay, semi-annual. At minimal ang price appreciation niya. Listed pa rin to sa stock market, pero hindi kasing galaw ng common stocks, yung kanyang price movement. At usually, ito, hold to maturity. Pag binili mo siya sa IPO or initial public offering, usually, kinukuha mo lang yung dividendo. Hindi siya meant for trading. At isa pang important point here, preferred stocks do not give you voting rights. Bakit to important? Kasi if you are expecting to attend the annual stockholders meeting to get the freebies and to get free food, hindi ka po invited. You are not entitled to voting rights if you are a preferred stockholder. But I want to reiterate, don't just invest in preferred stocks. Make sure that you invest in stable companies. Bakit? Lalo na itong mga perpetual preferred stocks. Kasi nga, you have to make sure that they will do as promised. Kapag sinabi ng kumpanya na bibigyan ka ng 5% every year, you have to be confident enough that that company is able to pay that 5% every year regardless of the company's earnings. And normally, you can only get that peace of mind if you invest in stable companies. Okay? Take that, please consider that all the time. Ano ba yung mga preferred stocks sa Philippines? Usually, ngayon, ang going rate ngayon is around 4 to 7% per annum. Kung happy ka na dyan, at least it's well above the inflation rate. Our average inflation rate historically is around 5%. Okay? So, meron usually ang peso and dollar preferred stocks. In peso, ang mga sikat dyan would be Ayala preferred shares, GT Capital, San Miguel. Diba? In dollars, ang meron tayo, dalawa pa lang, Del Monte and Certec. Kung mapapansin nyo, bakit siya dollars, diba? Si Del Monte and Certec, anong common sa kanilang dalawa? Can you guess? Both of them are export companies. So, dollar earners sila. Kaya, they are able to issue preferred stocks in US dollars. Para pag binayaran kanila, same as the currency that they are earning, which is US dollars. So, for you guys, lalo na sa inyong mga OFWs, nasasayangan kayo sa inyong dollars na hindi kumikita sa savings account, then this is a good, the preferred stocks may be a good venue for you to invest, diba? So, ang ano nga lang dyan is that you normally have to wait for the initial public offering. Doon lang usually nakukuha yung preferred stocks. Why invest in preferred shares? Number one, it gives you regular income. Kasi nga, guaranteed ng kumpanya. Okay? It's stable. The price is not dependent. The price is dependent on prevailing interest rates rather than investor sentiments. Usually, parang nawasa, Manila Water, every time may bad news, pwedeng bumagsak ang value ng stock price. But that doesn't happen sa mga preferred shares. Usually, stable lang yung price niya. Three is that it's safer. It's less risky than ordinary stocks kasi nga hindi magalaw yung presyo. Usually, this is a buy-hold strategy. You buy it during the initial public offering. Usually, inaabangan yan. Maraming investors nag-aabang ng IPO for preferred shares. Reserve na kayo kagad if that happens. It can also be sold in the market. Kasi ang tanong, what if kailanganin ko yung pera? Pwede ko ba siyang ibenta? The answer is yes. It's still listed in the stock exchange. So, ikaw, you can post it also for selling at maghihintay ka lang ng buyer. If you're having trouble selling your preferred shares, contact us and we will help you find a buyer kung kailangan nyo talaga yung pera. And parang i-disregard nyo na yung buy-hold strategy. Again, our tip is check if the company is financially stable to meet future dividend obligations. Kasi nga, nakadependent kayo dun sa, kumbaga dito na yung pumapasok yung capability ng kumpanya, regardless of earnings. So, pinag-usapan natin yung mga do's. How about naman the don'ts? So, just some warning or precautions. Number one, don't chase the price after the dividend declaration. Usually kasi yung, kunwari, March 17, nag-declare, magbibigay tayo ng dividends, 5 pesos per share. March 1 pa lang. So ngayon, ikaw, bibili ka kagad. Oh, I'll buy this stock. not even considering na mahal ngayon yung presyo ng stock na yon. So, don't chase the price after dividend declaration. Make sure na kaya mo pa rin na tama yung price ng bibilan mo. Number 2 is do not rely on high one-time payouts. There are different reasons why a company would give out dividends. So, minsan, pampaganda ng image, diba? But you do not look at the earnings. Pwede kasing nagbigay si company ng dividends, but on the third year, hindi na siya magbibigay ulit or not as high already. So, again, look for consistent dividends when looking at dividend companies. And number 3, do not expect high dividends to continue forever. Bakit? Kasi nga po, the dividends are still based on the company earnings. So kung kumikita ang kumpanya, then you can expect the dividends. However, if there would be extraordinary circumstances that would greatly affect that company, there is a probability na hindi na rin siya magbigay ng dividendo or bawasan yung kanyang dividend policy. Okay, are we getting that? But in my opinion, the don'ts, these are precautions, diba? Still, the do's still outweigh the don'ts. So just be careful and analyze your investments very carefully. So again, just to review, what are our do's for dividend investing? Number 1, look for companies that give out consistent dividends. 2, check for the dividend yield. Number 3, mind the dates. Number 4, remember that your income is not dependent on the stock price. So kahit bumaba yan, if you're after the dividends, don't sell it just yet. If you still believe that that company is good for you. Number 5, reinvest the dividends for compounding. Don't withdraw the dividends. Pambili nyo po ulit. And number 6, consider investing in preferred stocks of stable companies. Now, just to give you an idea, ano ba tong mga stocks? So courtesy of our research team and Thomson Reuters, these are the top 5 dividend-paying stocks for the past 5 years. So we took into consideration years from 2015 to 2019. Number 1 on the list would be GMA7. So recently, it benefited from the closure of ABS-CBN, kaya its stock price really went up. So for the past 5 years, it gave a dividend yield of 8% per annum. Not bad, diba? For the longest time, yung stock price ni GMA, mababa lang eh. But even if mababa siya or bumababa, consistent siyang nagbibigay ng 8% dividends in a year. Number 2 would be Semirara. So this is the mining company. Nadelist siya. Remember, nadelist siya tinanggal siya sa mga index. In spite of those bad news, nagbigay pa rin siya ng dividendo of around 7.6% per year, consistently in the past 5 years. Number 3, PLDT. So 5.73, Globe 4.53, Manila Water 3.65. You'll also notice that a lot of the dividend-paying stocks would be utility companies and stable companies. Why? Part of the reason is because they need less money for expansion. Kasi stable na sila eh. Stable yung market share niya. Maybe it doesn't need to spend too much on marketing or buying capex, capital expenditures. So mas marami siyang pwedeng ibalik sa kanyang mga investors. That's why PLDT, Globe, and Manila Water consistently gave out dividends this much for the past 5 years. So if these are if you're happy with these returns, these may be the stocks that you might want to look into. Another stock, kaya lang kakalist kasi lang niya around 2016, is Shell. So, SHLPH. It also consistently gave out dividends for the past 3 years, around 8% then every year. Okay? So, Again, before we close, let me remind you what my mentor, one of my favorite person said. Never depend on a single income. Make investment to create a second source. And that is basically what dividends offer. It is a second source of income without you doing all the work. It's basically you putting your money to work while you relax. So dividends is a passive income strategy sa mga ayaw mag-monitor ng market, ayaw mag-buy and sell, or you're still emotional like me. Okay, I'm emotional when I buy and sell. Lagi akong kinakabahan. And remember that dividends gives you income slow and steady. So if you're happy with this kind of strategy, then dividends may be for you. And as we know, slow and steady wins the marathon. Okay. So for if you would like to start, some basic requirements lang would be your TIN number, passport, or visa for OFWs. Sign them 3 times on paper, proof of your registered address, and proof of bank account number. And for the OFWs who would open an account uh, before May 31, we have an ongoing promo. So if you invest every 10,000 pesos or $200, we will give you back 100 pesos investment credit. So if you invest 50,000, you get 500 pesos in investment credits, which you can buy stocks or mutual funds.
All right, Ms. Van, are you ready to entertain their questions?
Yes, I am. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, let me start with the first question sent in. Hi, Ms. Van, where can I find FirstMetroSec stock picks?
We do release daily and weekly reports. So do check that out. Medyo powerful yung research reports ng FirstMetroSec, and they're free. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. Just click the reports. Lumalabas siya every Monday and then daily from Tuesday to Friday. We also have stock screens. So, and mga market wrap-up. So this is a webinar every last day of the month. So what we want to do really is help you with your decisions. And we encourage you to check out the reports daily and weekly. At makikita nyo dun yung mga stock picks. If you're a long-term investor, you can check out the stock screen report. And you can either choose yung riding the momentum. So these are the blue chip stocks, or yung dividend yield stocks, which is the yield seeker column. So nakalagay na doon yung mga valuations per stock. So you would know if this stock is cheap to buy now, is it a good time to buy, or wait a little more. So do check out those free reports inside the platform.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Van. Second question we have here is there a way to know the upcoming company dates or perhaps a calendar that we could refer to as investors?
PSE Easy, so PSE website, they publish that regularly. Dun sa daily and weekly reports that I mentioned, meron din dong mga important dates like earnings releases or dividend declaration dates that you can always look at para updated kayo sa mga upcoming dates in the different listed companies sa PSE.
Okay, next question we have here. How should I allocate my portfolio during this time?
Again, it depends on your risk appetite, your size of investment, your horizon. But it is still a good strategy to keep some in cash now. But I would not recommend you to keep everything in cash or bonds, because this is actually a very rare opportunity. So this happened, last time this happened was in 2009. So when there was a global recession. So if you have cash na sure ka na hindi mo talaga gagamitin in the next 5 years, I would really suggest to consider buying stocks now. Good companies, stable companies that you would be confident that they would be resilient after this crisis. So, wag muna kayong mag-invest dun sa mga maliliit na stocks, mga penny stocks or basura stocks, because we don't know until when this crisis will be. We don't know kung ilan ang makakasurvive dito, but the bigger companies have a better chance to recover. And if you have extra cash that you can spare na hindi nyo galawin, I would really encourage you to start investing in big name stocks right now.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Van. Now we're going to entertain live questions that were sent in. We have here, hi, Ms. Van, is buying SEB or Cebu Air a good decision? It has the highest paying dividend right now.
Again, we said consistency is important. Please check first yung dividend yield niya for the past 5 years. When I saw the question kanina, I already checked the platform. And it seems na yung dividend yield niya since 2015, hindi naman umaakyat ng 2% or 3%. So in terms of consistency, medyo I'm not too excited about the stock. At the same time, with the situation now, we know for a fact that SEB is closed, diba? And with the COVID situation, the uncertainty, we don't know what will happen with the travelers' mindset after this. So everyone is assuming that all tourism-related stocks will be hit by this crisis. And sabi nga natin, ang dividends galing sa profits, sa earnings ng kumpanya. We really don't think that SEB or any other or the tourism related companies would do well this year, maybe not even next year. So in terms of repeating their high dividend payouts, baka magiging uncertain din siya in the next 2 or 3 years. So again, I would suggest stick to the big name stocks muna and focus on industries that would probably benefit from this low touch economy situation. Less on tourism, less on travels, more on consumer, technology, telecommunications, like that.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Van. Our next question here is, in the FirstMetroSec platform, can we find a list or a summary of high dividend paying stocks?
Yes, definitely. So like I mentioned, we have a report called Stock Screen. Dun sa stock screen na yon, naka-group yung different stocks depending on the theme. The high dividend stocks are under the yield seeker column. So there you would see right now the stocks there are PLDT, Manila Meralco, MWC, Globe, and Aboitiz. So these are dividend-paying companies with good valuations that you can come in during these times. But again, these stock screens are meant for 12 to 18 months horizon, okay? Hindi siya next month. So if the value would go down next month, we don't know. Probably it will. So just make sure that you expect to hold on to this stock for the next 12 to 18 months if you're going to follow the stock screen report, the recommendations.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Ms. Van. Our next question that we have here is, which is better, cash dividend or shares dividends?
If you are an investor, we believe it's better to get stock dividends. Kasi kumbaga para ka nag-automatic compounding eh. Instead of you getting the cash, automatic, you get shares already. And in a way, for an investor, it's good because it's the company's way of preserving their cash and using that cash instead to further grow the company. So for a long-term investor, a stock dividend would be better. But I would assume that for traders out there, they would prefer cash dividends kasi ginagamit nila yan pang churn, pang buy and selling ng stocks. It depends on what kind of investor or trader you are.
And next question here, maybe one of our few questions left. Is there a possibility that a preferred stock would be delisted?
It acts more like a bond than a stock. So kung matapos siya, walang delisting na nangyayari, matatanggal lang yung stock symbol niya sa exchange. So nagmamature din naman kasi ang ibang preferred stock. So matatanggal lang siya. Hindi siya madedelist.
Thank you for that, Ms. Van. Next question. What's the difference between dividend from common shares and preferred when in terms of dividend yield?
Hindi ka nakinig. So, we said nga na preferred dividends are guaranteed, they're fixed, they have a maturity date usually or perpetual. So, every year, alam mo na kagad kung magkanong dividend ang makukuha mo. May it be 5% or 6% every year from the time you got the preferred dividends up to the time na mag-mature siya. Whereas, common dividends, dependent yan sa company earnings every year. So ngayon, worldwide recession, and lalo na dito sa Philippines, we expect companies to be at a loss by the end of this year, 2020. So most probably, most companies will either have lower dividends, or for some, if they're really scared or they're really preserving their cash, baka they would seek reprieve from their board to delay dividend payouts this year. So yun, kapag common, hindi sure. Kapag preferred, kahit ngayong may recession, makakakuha ka ng preferred dividends.
Thank you for that, Ms. Van. For our last question for this session, in FirstMetroSec, what is the minimum amount for me to join, and can I apply?
Minimum amount, 2,500 for you to start to open an account. So although ngayon with modified ECQ, we have parang encourage people to open an account first and then fund it. Wala namang, and then yung 2,500 na yon, you can use it as seed money. It's not a maintaining balance. You can spend everything to buy a stock or a mutual fund. You can keep your buying power at zero and wala siyang charges. So I really encourage everyone, don't wait for the 8,000. I saw the comment of Sir there. What about the 8K rule? I'm sure you have tipped someone 20 pesos at a restaurant. Inisip mo ba yung 8K rule? Hindi naman, di ba? So I would really encourage you to have that investment mindset, long-term mindset. The cost would be really secondary. If you look at it at the long term, magkano ba yung kikitain natin?
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Van, and that is it for our Q&A. Again, thank you, Ms. Van, for that very insightful discussion, especially for newbie investors like me. And thank you also for answering our questions. Our biggest thanks to everyone as well for sending in and participating. So if you have any additional questions in mind, just send them in through our email. That's events@firstmetrosec.com.ph, and Van, along with the rest of the FirstMetroSec team, we will still do our best to accommodate your questions. And that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you for spending your time with me, Ms. Van, and the rest of the FirstMetroSec team on this weekend evening. We hope you're able to gain a thing or two that can aid you in your investing journeys. To stay up to date with the latest events in the market, FirstMetroSec exclusives and announcements, or other e-learning sessions like this one, simply like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel with the handle at FirstMetroSec. Thank you again for being part of the third episode of our PISO webinar series. Our special thanks again to our friends at Face Japan, Pink Korea, and Mad Talks Qatar, as well as for your enthusiasm in making this learning series possible. On your screens right now are our upcoming learning sessions for you guys, so please feel free to set these dates on your calendars already so you won't miss an episode. We still have a lot in store for you, and we hope to see you guys very soon. This has been your host, Kara, with our speaker, Vanessa, wishing you a happy weekend. We'll see you guys next time for the next PISO episode. As always, with First Metro Securities, it's hashtag your future first.